Hello traders, welcome to another exciting video on Trading Channel. I wish you guys a very prosperous and profitable 2024. It's a new year, and in this video we're going to be looking at the performance of the candle trader strategy 1 on a funded prop firm account. Now in the previous video we showed you guys how the strategy works, and then it's when we traded on a prop firm evaluation account. We showed you guys all of that, the entire process. And then we showed you guys the phase where we passed the phase 1 account, and then we got the funded accounts, which we have started trading now. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the strategy performance on the funded account. So I'm just going to right click here and click on report. Okay, so I'm just going to view this overview here. Okay, so you can see we've made about $424 in profits. We had paid about 21.49 to swaps, and then we've paid about 35.00 to commissions. Now for these accounts, we are trading with a constant lot size of 1.0. If you remember on the evaluation 1, we're trading on a constant lot size of 2.0 because we're very aggressive at the challenge. And then when we pass, we reduce the lot size to 1 because we no longer have to try to pass or gain any percentage over time. Okay, so we're up about 2.94%, as you can see here, and we've not made any loss on the system. So we're actually supposed to make a loss, and we're going to be looking at this in the performance. Now for the strategy, guys, it's very simple. Let me close this out here and show you guys here. So basically looking for patterns like this, patterns like this, patterns like this. Minimize this here. So patterns like this, and basically we've discovered that when these patterns occur, there's an X probability that the next candle is going to close in the reverse direction. And X recently for the past few months has been very high, especially for Euro USD. So what we did was that we automated everything. Okay, we can't just be waiting for these patterns to show up, or watching the chart waiting for these patterns to show up. So what we did was that we created a system that was going to wait for this pattern to show up, and once they show up, it's going to place trades in the reverse direction. So that's just basically how automated trading systems work. There's no necessarily complications to the strategy. There's no kind of like secrets, hidden strategy. It's a very simple strategy. Okay, so now as you noticed here, we had a trade here, a sell trade here in this direction. This was the trade that resulted in the $38 profit. We had a sell trade here, and the candle closed about 4 candles after. And this was actually because the broker had some issues. They had some downtimes, and we couldn't close this trade. The expert advisor couldn't close these trades. And when I came onto the chart, I saw that the trade was open. I tried closing it. The broker wasn't responsive. So I sent them an email, and they were like, the server was down. And as soon as the server comes up, they're going to close the trade. So initially this trade here is supposed to be a loss, because you can see it opened the sell trade here, and this candle ended up being bullish. It was supposed to be a very small loss. As you can see here, this candle was a very little bullish candle here. We're supposed to close here, but we ended up closing here, which was also kind of good for us. But there are situations where this could happen, and that's why I advise that you don't use a very high lot size. Obviously the prop firm said that they were going to take out this loss. If it was actually end up in a loss, they were going to take it out. But since we had a profit, obviously are going to keep that profit. Okay, now as you notice, this strategy doesn't have a stop loss and a take profit. So some of you guys are going to be like scared, why doesn't strategy have a stop loss and a take profit? Now remember, initially when we talked about the primary strategy, we are looking at candles like this, candles like this, candles like this. And we said that there is an X probability that the next candle is going to end up in the reverse direction. If we were to add a stop loss here and maybe a take profit here, we have overridden the strategy. And now we are predicting, let's say for this case here, where we had this bullish candle here, and the next candle was supposed to close as a bearish candle. We are actually predicting that once this candle occurs, we place our stop loss here. It means that the price shouldn't go upwards in certain points, and then it should go downwards in certain points. And that wasn't what we discovered. But here's what we can do, guys. Let me open my Chrome here and show you guys the back test here. So what we can actually do is that we view the trade life of the entire strategy. As you can see here, this one is from 2022 down to 2023, but we obviously did from 2013 down to 2020, which was the duration of our back test, right? We view this and view the trade life of the system for the minimum lot size. Okay, and now once we view this, we can view the average risk and average profits. Obviously, we don't need to set a take profit on the upside, but you can also do that as well. And then you can view the average loss on the downside. You can see here, this was minus 0.25, this is minus 0.5, and this is minus 0.075. Okay, so you view this downside risk here, and then you can say, okay, so if the price, or if we are actually losing below a certain percentage that is actually below the average threshold, we can actually get out of the trade. And that was what we did here in our strategy. So we're not actually using a stop loss or a take profit, but we're actually using equity lock to actually lock our profit. So on this lot size here of 1.0, I know that if a trade goes above below 2% of my initial equity, I'm going to actually get out of the trade. Okay, so that's basically what we are doing here on this strategy. So if it actually goes above 2%, we're actually going to close that trade. Okay, so that's basically how the strategy works. Now I also wanted to show you guys something here on the Profem account. So for those of you that are going to be using this Profem account here, we started with we made a profit about 424 USD, and a total withdrawal of 80% would be about 294 USD. So basically, when you get a live account, you are given 14 days before you can make your first withdrawal. Our first withdrawal is supposed to be today. I don't know why we haven't yet gotten the button here to submit our invoice here. Okay, but we can basically withdraw out 80% of the 367 USD, which is about 294. So hopefully this is going to come up soon, and you're going to be able to withdraw this profit here on this account. Okay, so you can see it's a $12,500 account, and you can see that the balance is 12,867.51. Okay, so I go to my dashboard here and view my home page. You can actually see the account here. So this is the account here, 12,867. And if you view the past page here, you can actually see that this was the one that we passed here, the 13,788 here. All right. So that's just basically how the system works, guys. We're actually trading this on a Profem account, like I explained. And some of you are going to be having, the question, can I trade this on all broker accounts? And that is exactly why we actually created this framework in the first place. So like I said previously, we perform financial analysis on the pair using Think Markets. All right, that's where we perform the financial analysis on. And there are some times when, this broker data might not be the same. They might vary, even though the difference is very small. There's a possibility that a trade can happen on my account and a trade might not happen on your account because of the difference in data. Okay, which is why I always recommend that when you download a Forex report, you have to actually backtest it. Okay, and we have the backtesting framework here on the candle trading strategy on the Shreya framework version 2.0. Now, if you want to be backtesting this system, let me just show you guys. Here, I'm using Euro USDX for my backtest. Like I said, it also works on GBP USD, so we can perform a backtest on GBP USD and Euro USD at the same time. Okay, but as you can see, this one is for Euro USDX and GBP USDX. If I go to my backtest here and I backtest it, I'm going to actually get an error, because if you look at the from date and the to date, it actually says the same date, and whenever this date is the same, it's going to automatically start backtesting from the first date, which is on the 1st of 1st 2013. And we do not have for most brokers, we don't have data for Euro USDX and GBP USDX from 2013. Okay, so we actually have, I think, from 2019 or 2020 or 2021. For some it's just 2023. Okay, so let's just view this here. Let's click on update settings here, and let's view our chart. I click on our chart here. Okay, so you can see this trade here, which we had here. You can see this trade which we had here. So basically, it's placed the sell trade at the close of this candle, which is also at the open of this candle here. Okay, you can also click on the date time and change this from, let's just view from Friday. Just view this from Monday to Friday. So you can actually see the trades here. So this was the sell trade here that was actually supposed to close here, where we made a little bit of a loss. But as I told you guys, it didn't close here and closed after the 4th candle. All right. So let's go to the back test and let's back test this for Euro USTX for just, let me take this back to 2023 from the 1st of January 2023 up to the current date. Let's back test this for just Euro UST. Okay. So like I said, the X vulnerability has been very high in the past few months for Euro UST. Okay, so you can see the performance in 2023. It's almost unbelievable, but guys, it's actually true. You can see we actually passed the phase 1 here in December, and we actually made about 2.9%, on average 3% in profits. If you're going to be using this on your broker, your back test for Euro USTX for 2023 alone should look like this. Now, like I said at the start of this video, we pay about $7 per standard lot size. Now, obviously, if you're going to be paying high, it's going to eat into your strategy. So try to make sure that for whichever broker you're using, you don't get to pay more than $7 as a commission for a standard lot size. Okay, let's view GBPUSD here. Click on back test to view GBP. You can see that GBPUSD was also profitable here, actually, but we have a way lot of trades, and that is one of the reasons why I am not using GBPUSD here. Okay, but I've also noticed something about GBPUSD, and I've noticed that at the start of the year, it's very likely to be profitable. We've seen that from 2013 down to 2023, and hopefully at the start of this year, I'm also going to be using GBPUSD. So let's go back to the settings and remove out this X from pairs and click on update settings. Okay, so now as we've updated the settings, we can now backtest actually from the start of 20. I'm just going to take this back to January. I'm going to take this to 2024 and click on first. So I'm going to have this date and this date here the same, and I'm going to backtest for GBPUSD alone. You can see that GBPUSD has been very profitable. Okay, and I told you that, guys, at the start of the year, GBPUSD is likely to be profitable. Okay, you can also use GBPUSD and it's also profitable too. Okay, so let's view Euro USD from the start of 2013 down to 2024. Okay, you can see that Euro USD has also been profitable, but we've had very few trades. If you look here, we've had 4,000 trades here on Euro USD. If I go to GBPUSD and I click on GBPUSD and click on backtest, you can see we've had about 20,000 trades on GBPUSD, which is very high, and that is how the strategy works. You can see the sharp ratio here is about 4.75 for GBPUSD, and if I go to Euro USD and click on backtest, you can see that the sharp ratio is higher. Okay, so for lesser trades and the higher sharp ratio, obviously I'm going to be trading with the Euro USD for a while. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us at Trading Kernel Support at support@tradingkernel.com. I'm more than happy to respond to any inquiries or questions that you may have. Let me know if this is a strategy that you're going to be using, and you can download the strategy from Trading Kernel for just $249 only, and it gives you access to not just this strategy. Like I said, if you see here, this is the candle strategy 1 for GBPUSD and Euro USD. We are also going to be releasing multiple candle strategies that we discover for other pairs as well. We have the strategy 2 for Euro USD and GBPUSD, and we also have the strategy 3, which we are working on for GBP/JPY and USD/JPY. So guys, that'll be all for now. I'll see you in the next video. And once again, I wish you guys a happy and prosperous new year in 2024.